Yo, how's it going, everybody? It's MacklinGaming, and I'm back after a lengthy holiday break. I got a little bit of a stuffy nose right now, so bear with me. But I was in California visiting my dad, so that was all good. Spent Christmas there, and now I'm back in the year 2025, ready to look ahead at the lineup of video game releases that we have coming up this year, which is incredibly stacked in my opinion. So I'm gonna go over a bunch of those releases that, games that have release dates, games that don't. We'll make some predictions along the way. There's even gonna be new console hardware coming from one of the big three giants, Nintendo. So we're gonna talk about that, make a little bit of predictions there. Without further ado, let's get into it. So starting right off in February, there's games coming out in January, but I don't think there's many that I'm super interested in. If there are any games coming out this month that you're gonna pick up, let me know in the comments. But jumping right into February, we have a stacked month. We have Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is like a really kind of realistic medieval RPG. Not a lot of magic or fantasy in there at all, but they try to go for like a realistic simulation. And the graphics look amazing. The combat is the only thing for me that's like iffy. I played the first Kingdom Come Deliverance and the combat was so weird and janky. They try to, go for the really realistic sword fighting, and you have like 5 different angles you can attack and guard with, and then you can like also thrust. That's like your 6th option of attack. But I think they're gonna change that a little bit, they said, and maybe make it a little bit more seamless and smooth and like easy to control, and it won't be so janky this time. So hopefully the combat is good in that game. That'll probably make or break the experience for most people. But based on the trailer, it looks really beautiful, like the forests, and the rivers. You can just walk around in like pure nature and it looks beautiful. So if you're into like the medieval kind of adventure RPG games, Kingdom Come Deliverance should be right up your alley. Then we have a couple more big hitters in February. As far as I'm concerned, we have Avowed coming from Xbox and Obsidian, and that's their fantasy RPG. It's based off of Pillars of Eternity, which is already an IP that they have, but it's more of like a top-down experience. But this is going to be a first-person fantasy RPG. It really has these like bright colors. They kind of changed the look and tone of the game from the very first trailer that came out years and years ago, and now they're going for this like kind of vibrant, colorful world, and it looks really interesting. I don't know anything about the Pillars of Eternity lore, but I might learn about it playing this game. And I think everything Obsidian makes is quality, so I'm definitely gonna check that one out. And then we have maybe the biggest release of February, Monster Hunter Wilds, at the very end of the month. Everyone who's a Monster Hunter fan is gonna be psyched for this. It's gonna be like the Monster Hunter World sequel or whatever. It's gonna be a big MMO, I believe. I think you can play it single player, but I believe you can also co-op in this game. And obviously, as you can tell, I'm not a huge Monster Hunter fan, but I'm gonna try and get into this one and really sink my teeth into it, see if I'll enjoy it. But it looks like a lot of fun. You just go around attacking like big beasts, big monsters, trying to take them down, and the boss battles are like long, and you have to attack various parts of their body, like their legs and their head and their arms, in order to bring them down properly. And I'm sure there's like a lot more to it with the selection of weapons that you have to use, and some are going to be, super effective to some monsters, and some are going to be resistant and all that good stuff. So you have to figure out the right builds to take down these monsters. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to trying out a new IP for me. I dabbled in Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch, but I couldn't really get into it. I wouldn't say I played it for that long. So I'm excited to play like a new IP for me that a lot of people really love. So February is going to be stacked. And looking on beyond that, there's a lot of other games that don't quite have release dates yet, but some of these big games that are on my radar would be Elden Ring Night Rain, right? So we got like this co-op roguelike Elden Ring experience. I did not expect this at all coming from Software. I thought they would just kind of move on to either like Bloodborne 2 or Elden Ring 2 or whatever they're gonna come out with next, but they stick with Elden Ring and make this kind of roguelike co-op version. And you know, I'll try it out. I have a few buddies that'll play that with me, but usually I really enjoyed the single player experience of Elden Ring, so I'm wondering how this is gonna work. Like, can you play this game solo and beat it? Is it gonna be like extra hard, or will they kind of scale the enemy difficulty based on how many players you go in with? Or if you're just playing solo, is it gonna be like a little bit easier? I have no idea. You know, it looks just like Elden Ring graphically, but hey, if there's more Elden Ring, I cannot complain. I'm gonna dive right into that day one for sure. Now we're gonna get up to like spring, late spring here in March, and that's like the turn of the fiscal year for Nintendo, and everybody's saying this is the time that they're gonna announce their new console, the Nintendo Switch 2 or whatever they're gonna call it, Super Nintendo Switch, you know? But you gotta expect the release announcement to be in March, or like no later than March. You know, for the actual release date of the console, it could be any time. It could be in November of this year, or it could be in like June, you know? It could be as early probably as the summer and as late as the holiday. So who knows when the release date of the Switch 2 is gonna be, but I think we all are very excited for that announcement, which could come like any time between now and March. So, you know, what games are we super excited for? Well, I'm gonna make some predictions about what games are gonna come out first as launch titles for the Nintendo Switch 2. And I think a pretty safe prediction would be a new 3D Mario game. You know, Odyssey came out like almost 8 years ago, which is insane. Like, no new 3D Mario since then. They gave us a little tease of, you know, Bowser's Fury, that open world Mario. Is that the direction that they're gonna go in for the next 3D Mario game and make like a full scale version of that? Or is it gonna be Odyssey 2, or is it just gonna be something completely new? But I think that game, if that launches with the Switch 2, it's gonna sell like crazy. And if it's not gonna be a 3D Mario, I think Mario Kart, the first Mario Kart in 10 years, you know, would be, or even more than 10 years. When did Mario Kart 8 come out? Like, I don't even remember, 14 years ago or something crazy. So I think it'll either be one of those two, but if I have to really pick, I'm gonna say 3D Mario for sure. A different Nintendo game that I'm really looking forward to that's already been announced is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and they said that's gonna come out on the Switch, but you see how they haven't released the actual release date for the game yet, because you know there's gonna be a Switch 2 version of this game. And so once they give the release date for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, you can kind of see where the Switch 2 is gonna be out already. Like, let's say they announce Metroid for October, you know, you could almost guarantee the Switch 2 will be out in September or sometime like October, right before Metroid comes out. And maybe the same is true for Pokemon Legends ZA, which is another game I'm super looking forward to this year. They announced it almost a year ago and showed us like a little trailer, and they haven't given the release date. You know, this is Nintendo's strategy. Like, these games that are going to release on the next console, they're not giving release dates yet, because that'll give it away for everybody in terms of when the console is going to come out. So we have to wait a little bit longer for that. And once those games, Metroid and Pokemon, get release dates, I think you can kind of really hone in on exactly when the Switch 2 will come out. Also, real quickly, I want to throw in Xenoblade Chronicles X. That got a remake for the Switch, and that's going to come out, or like a remaster, that's going to come out this year. And I think that already got a release date. So that's one, you know, is just coming out for the Switch. You know, no need to make it super powerful on the Switch 2. It'll probably still run on the Switch 2, but it's going to be a Switch game, and I'm looking forward to playing that. I loved Xenoblade 3, and the soundtrack in those games are incredible. So I'll be checking out Xenoblade Chronicles X for sure. Getting down to the last few games I'm excited for this year. We've got Ghost of Yotei from Sucker Punch. It's the Ghost of Tsushima sequel. You've got this lady, Ronin, and it's going to take place like years, hundreds of years after Jin Sakai was playing in, you know, the original Ghost of Tsushima. So because of that, we're not going to see Jin. which is a bummer, but this game looks incredible. Like the visuals again are stunning in this series, and there's like a huge mountain or volcano, whatever it is, and it might be like scalable. I bet the world will be kind of built around this mountain, and you know, it's gonna be just dope combat, sick combat, and probably really good stories. Like the first game story was great. I really enjoyed it. So I think they're gonna make like a movie out of it or a show or something, because it's got such a great storyline. So Sucker Punch is a great PlayStation studio, and I love these Japan samurai period piece games that they're coming out with. So I mentioned this in my previous video at the Game Awards. They showed a trailer for Mafia: The Old Country, and I did not have this on my radar at all, but it looks awesome. The trailer looks beautiful, and it's like real Italy back in the day, the origins of the mafia and all this cool stuff. And you know, I'm Italian on my mom's side, so I'm gonna check this out. Got to go back to my roots and learn the lore of the mafia, and it's probably gonna be awesome, like gunfighting and story. And I don't know if it'll be open world, but whatever they showed visually in like the hills of Italy looked beautiful, and it's definitely a game that I'm gonna be looking forward to playing. I played like Mafia 1 or 2, I can't remember which one, and it was cool, but I think this one with such a drastically different setting is gonna be very interesting. And last but not least, everybody has been waiting for this game forever, maybe some of you for your whole lifetime. It's Grand Theft Auto 6. Will this game come out this year? I mean, it's slated to come out. Rockstar and Take-Two have even doubled down and said, yes, it's going to come out this year. And if I have to make a prediction, I would say it's going to get delayed. I think they'll keep the carrot on the stick right in front of your face, you know, up until, oh no, you know, there's no time for us to get this out properly. They're not going to want to crunch, because there was like, you know, stories of them crunching in Red Dead 2 to get that game out on time, and I think it even got a delay. I think every Rockstar mainline game has gotten a delay, so if they drop GTA 6 this year, I will be happy to be wrong. I hope they put it out this year, honestly, but my prediction would be that it doesn't come out till 2026. But hey, if it does come out this year, I mean, what a year. There's so many other games that I haven't thought of that are gonna come out this year. And if you have any of your favorites that I didn't mention or ones you're looking forward to this year, let me know in the comments. You know, that's going to be it for me. I'm super excited about this year for gaming. It's going to be huge, especially with Nintendo's new hardware release. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.